This video is about prepping an area to fill a large deficit in a board at the end with either eco-epoxy or liquid glass. You need to start by cleaning out the cracks and holes, and then 120 sanding the area that you're going to use to put the block over, and then coating it with either West Systems epoxy or shellac or lacquer sealer. That prevents everything from sticking to the wood and penetrating into the wood and then tearing it up when the block is removed. So the area has now been fully coated, and I need to let it dry. The West Systems 105-207, which is my preferred coating, takes 4 to 6 hours depending on the temperature to harden enough. The best choice for individual is the shellac, the seal coat universal sanding sealer. You can buy it in smaller quantities and it has no odor, but you need to do 3 coats of it, but they dry within 15 minutes, half an hour of each other, so it's quicker. The other choice is gem coat lacquer sealer, but it's has a very strong odor and it's hard to buy it in small quantities. So the two that you see are the best choices for sealing an area where you don't want to have it discolored once you sand it off. Preparing to do fill work on this Claro English walnut graft that's destined to be a coffee table. Right there you see the graft line. There's a large hole on the bottom that comes through to the top, so we will be capping off this so that we can pour from the backside and fill this in. The surface is now ready, hard, and the grain of the wood has been coated over so that the silicone caulk that I use won't penetrate into it. It'd be hard to get off. And I have the surface that I'm going to put the cap on has been coated with West System epoxy to make it so that the silicone caulk that I'm going to use doesn't penetrate into the wood and stick and make it hard to finish. I'm going to cap off this with a piece of 1/8 inch hardboard, tempered one side. I actually prefer tempered both sides, but I didn't have it. It's been taped with a heavy-duty clear tape, pressed down, burnished in well, and that'll keep the liquid glass or the eco-epoxy from bonding permanently with the board and making you have to tear it off rather than it just peel away. It's important to make sure that the tape is very smooth with no wrinkles, overlapped by about 1/3 each row, and pressed down with the palm of your hand so that it is very well stuck to the surface of the board. I have outlined where the board is going to be placed, and I've also outlined where I want the silicone caulk to go to act as a dam. I have wiped the surface of the tape with silicone as an extra precaution from keeping the epoxy to stick to this surface. The tape might be enough. The silicone is just an added release mechanism. So here's a bead of silicone caulk to act as a dam keep the epoxy or liquid glass from spreading. The main reason not to do the whole area that is going to be capped is that the liquid glass or epoxy are very time consuming to sand off afterwards. So we keep it confined to the area, but it can't be so small that the caulk will spread into the crack. Next, I will smooth it outward with my finger. This setup will sit overnight to allow the silicone to solidify and make its grip so that we can take the weight off and the thin board will